Welcome to Monday, ladies and gentlemen. We are live again, fired up. There's a monster blaze behind me right now. Very, very excited this afternoon here in Jersey. We're live on Facebook. We're live in the Fed Nation Fed group. We are live on LinkedIn. We're live on YouTube. And you're here with me. If you're here, let us know in the comments. Don't forget, if you're watching in Fed Nation, to click that link and let StreamYard give them permission so we could see your name and know who we're talking to. And listen, we're fired up. We're fired up. Before I start, I want to let everybody know, March 23rd to March 25th, the Food Equipment Service Leaders Summit, virtual conference, register for free, being put on by Fed Nation and the fine folks at Origo BP, Scott McGrath, Yassine, the team. We're going to do it together. So head on over there, register for free, fesleaderssummit.com. There it is.
All the way.
There it is. Boom, boom, as the flames come out of my head. There we go. So we're going to get this episode going. And John's already here, my friend from across the pond. What's going on, brother? Taz, of course, Taz is here. That's my guy. Who I just saw he ordered some fired up gear. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. But stay tuned, because Taz, I'm going to send you a little care package. I'm going to put something together and get you more Fed gear down there. So stay tuned for that. Fired up. What am I fired up about? One thing I can tell you I'm fired up about is this. So this is our new revamped, redesigned planned maintenance agreement, and certain things that go be, the preliminaries before the planned maintenance. So what am I fired up about? I'm fired up that customers sign these things even after we explain everything, and they have no idea what they're signing after we've gone over point by point. And it kills me, because I see them throwing money down the drain year in and year out. And we're happy to sign you up, and we're happy to bill you out, and we're happy to do the maintenance. But my God, listen, this is going to my end users, my customers, our clients across the country and the globe. When you sign off on a planned maintenance agreement, make sure you understand why you're signing that. The number one reason is for maximum uptime. Maximum uptime. If anyone wants to jump in the comments and talk about what's going on in planned maintenance in your world, I know Taz has plenty to say on planned maintenance, but maximum uptime. And you want to extend the life of the equipment. That's what this is all about. But in the initial PM, when we sit down and we go over these points, we've just redesigned this so we can go in point by point to explain this needs to be done, this needs to be done, and this needs to be done. The first year and a half, I will say, year and a half, you're going to see probably a little bit more repairs going on. You're going to see some uptick in the revenue that you might spend. But you have to understand, if you're just signing on for an initial PM and you've had neglected the equipment for years, we have to come in and we can't, let me put it this way. We can't maintain equipment that's not in top working condition. It's got to be in working condition, or we can't maintain it. So when we come in and we give you these quotes, people sit on them. We have universities and community colleges that we service and we do PMs for. Lisa, it's insane. I have dozens and dozens and dozens of quotes that never get approved. Now, when my tech goes back in and he's like, Rich, should I look at this? I'm like, no, don't look at it again. We already know this needs a compressor. We already know this needs a door closer. We know. You have to get the stuff in optimal working condition for us to maintain it. And it pains me, because you're throwing money down a drain. So to my restaurant managers, my food service directors, my people running food service operations and kitchens, when you sign off on a PM, understand, yes. Oh, but what are all these things? Yes, you're going to spend $1,000, $3,000, $5,000. I don't know how big your facility is. You're going to spend that money on the upfront. But after the first year and a half, I will tell you, you will see the emergency repairs decline. You will see these high octane repairs go away. Like these big steam generators and these boilers that we have in combi ovens and steamers. If we're maintaining those properly, you're not going to have to worry about replacing those, at least not as fast as you might original. I've seen people that they ride this thing till the wheels fall off. Year and a half, 2 years, I'm replacing a freaking $6,000 generator.
And Quentin says, and you have to at times fix things others have rigged up or jumped out to. Or jumped out to gremlins.
Or jumped out. Right.
Oh.
Or jumped out as well. Because in this industry, that you get to, and Quentin's right, when you get to some of this equipment, people have jumped things out, they've bypassed things, and they're just making letting the customer limp by instead of actually solving the real problem. So yeah, I mean, Quentin, that's the other piece of this puzzle too, right? I'm glad you brought that up. Oftentimes we're coming behind other companies, and not just one. Sometimes it's 3, 4, 5 before we got to them, and they said, "Hey, listen, what can you do to help us?" Well, sometimes we have to sit down and look at this and be honest with ourselves. This equipment was jumped out, things were bypassed, it was all screwed up, it was wired back. There's so many things wrong. Sometimes it might be, listen, we could get this done. It's going to cost a little bit of money. But once we get it going, this thing is going to be a workhorse for you again. So yeah, I mean, we have to be honest, and we have to talk about the full spectrum of what a PM actually entails. And sometimes the upfront might seem a little scary to an end user. I'm here to tell you that that's just for a small amount of time. It's for a small amount of time. So I'm fired up today about planned maintenance. Quentin, that was a perfect comment to make on that. So what else am I fired up about, Lisa? What the hell else we got going on? How about safety in the workplace?
Yes, I was literally going to say that. Safety in the workplace.
Yeah, safety in the workplace. So there's a lot of injuries going on all around me. Listen, I will say this. I took my girlfriend skiing to Camelback because of Dan Deibler. So this is really Dan's fault, I guess. I'm just kidding, Dan. And we're not, we're amateurs here. We went down a hill and we went down the mountain, and listen, long story short, she hurt her knee. So we have an injury there. I'm working triple time. I'm cleaning bedpans. I'm doing all kinds of stuff in the house. She's here in the background right now. So if you hear laughing, that's her. She's laughing, trying not to cry. And then we have here in the workplace here, my main man Freddie. He hurt his foot today. So I think there was probably weather conditions that came into play, slipping and stuff like that. So we just have to make sure that we're paying attention and taking care of our people. The first thing to do is go right to the emergency room, take care of your people. We talk about safety, we talk about mental health, all these things. I've talked about that before. Mental health is these things. I'm fired up about this stuff too, because I have an open door here. I talk to people all the time. I was talking with Lisa about this, I think maybe last week. I was talking with another business owner that I know in the industry, how we become therapists and we become psychiatrists or psychologists, whatever you want to call it. And, it's important, as if you're going to be a leader or you're a manager, if you're in a position of some kind of power, you need to understand that safety and mental well-being needs to be something that's at the top of your list, that you're paying attention to on the daily. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. How are you going to run if everyone else is falling apart?
That's right.
Mentally, physically.
Yeah. So you see this? Get fired up with that. If you're not doing these things in your organization and you're not talking to your people, who are the most important piece to the puzzle, you're missing the boat. You're missing the boat there. So, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at doing it. I definitely need to do it more. So when I say these things, I always take them to heart and try to remind myself to do that more right here in the building. And I plan on doing it. My time is definitely spread thin, because I am fired up as well about the Food Equipment Service Leader Summit, which you should go to FESleadersummit.com and register for free, because I am fired up about that. But also I'm fired up about scrolling across the bottom of my screen is my number. So right there, follow it. 201-485-5159. Join the text community. We're going to be able to connect there, but you're also going to get discounts to events. And listen, Fed Nation, Fed Conference 2022, Arizona. Be ready, fired up for that. Is anyone saying anything here? Do we have anyone saying anything?
Good point on preventative maintenance.
Yes, Jesus. Good point on preventative maintenance. So that's something too I'd like to acknowledge. I no longer use the word preventive. I don't use that word. In today's day and age, I think people really take words and run with them. And we're actually, in my eyes, we're not preventing anything. We can't prevent something from happening. You go to the doctor, you get tested, you get checked. 4 days later, you have a stroke. Heart attack. Things happen. We can't always prevent everything, but we can plan to maintenance the equipment. We can plan to clean out generators and boilers. We can plan to change filters, air filters, water filters. We can plan to check components and freon levels and all these different things to get ahead of it.
Taz calls it proactive maintenance.
I like that too, because you're being proactive. And what does being proactive do? It cuts down on the reactive, which is what you really want to do ultimately with a PM, right? You want to cut down on those Friday afternoon emergency calls that send you into panic. Rich, my walk-in is down. I don't know what to do. It's Friday. These things, these reactive calls, and by the way, our business is built on reactive service calls. That's what we do 95% of the time here. So it's all reactive. And a lot of these things with the PMs can slow that down, give you max uptime. And, ultimately, when you cut down on emergency repairs, you're cutting down on, listen, if you lose a walk-in on a Friday and you have to move product, you might have already lost food. There's thousands and thousands of dollars unrecoupable. You'll never get that back. So when you look at it that way, you look at it for next day air. Sometimes imagine you got a next day air, a condensing unit, or next day air, a boiler or a motor. I mean, once you start doing that, that could get $500, $600, $700, $800. These freight charges are insane. That gets me fired up when we have all these next day air charges that I see coming through. Because there's so many parts, there's so many components, we cannot have them all. I mean, if I brought you to my vans in my warehouse and I listen, everyone has an open invite to New Jersey. My doors are open. You can come in. We could kick everything open. You can come take a look and look at all the parts that I hold as a small business. For 16 guys, I have a lot of parts. You got someone?
Yeah. So this is an interesting question. Are there any good examples of factories promoting PM?
Oh, hey, what's up, Carrie? Hope you're well. Thank you for jumping in on the conversation. That is actually a great one. So over the years, from the authorized service center side, there has been talk with PMs and push with PMs. But there's not really anything that's kind of, I would say, guaranteed through a manufacturer. It's really on us as a service company to get to end user. But they do promote it. They talk about it. They let you know. Like McDonald's is a good example. Okay, they have clamshell grills. That's what so for anyone who doesn't know what a clamshell grill is, you could obviously Google it and see what it looks like. But that's what they're putting down. That's what they're cooking your burgers on. They throw it up. Sometimes they're cooking eggs on that, but it's the double-sided grill. It's cooking it. It's cooking your beef burgers.
Like a George Foreman grill?
Like a George Foreman grill. It's cooking it, exactly it. And McDonald's corporate requires yearly certifications on that. Now, they call it certification. It's really a plan maintenance. It's really a PM. And we're going in and we're changing all the different seal kits. We're making sure that we gap it properly. And you're making notes on different things. A lot of times these actuators are failed. Sometimes you need a whole new platen. The platen is the actual piece that comes down. That's the clam, I guess we'll call it. But so those things are certified. And once we certify it and we say all the seals are done, it's done, we actually have a whole form we fill out. And we give that to the customer because McDonald's corporate's coming behind. They're checking on this stuff. And then we get a sticker. We put the sticker on it that it was done by so-and-so on this date. And that's that. So McDonald's was a big proponent. We don't do that anymore. But then when you see new rollouts and stuff like that, you might see a rollout for Chick-fil-A and you see rollouts for, McDonald's, of course. You see different rollouts for a lot of the chains. You'll see PM stuff, but at the end of the day, they're not forcing it upon anybody. They're not making anybody do it. It's up to the end user at the end of the day. So, it really does fall into the service company's lap. And I'm happy for it to fall into our lap, by the way, because that could be a great way for us to get added revenue, lock in a good relationship, lock in stuff for service down the line. But manufacturers do not require or you can't make somebody do something they don't want to do, especially when it's added money. When they say, listen, we're going to charge an extra $600 a year for this. And quite honestly, I don't want the manufacturer to do that because they're probably going to lowball it. And then I'm going to be stuck with some flat fee. I don't like doing this. First of all, that's another thing I'm fired up about. We're going to say from the show, flat fee installs. I'm done with it. We're going to talk about that on another one. It's just a thing of the past. I don't want $600 to go install a grill. Every job is different. Every place is different. So we're going to talk about that. Put a pin in that. But yeah, so we got Taz. What's Taz saying?
Once you turn on a machine, you cannot prevent maintenance. You can plan for it, prevent downtime and be proactive. No billionaire was ever successful being reactive.
Aha. Perfectly said, my friend. Perfectly said. Yeah, so once you turn on a machine, you cannot prevent maintenance. Exactly. You don't buy a Mercedes and drive that thing for 100,000 miles and say, okay, well, I guess I should get an oil change now. Listen, you're going to be in for a world of trouble. I mean, that's just it. I mean, why would you buy a $30,000-$40,000 oven and think that nothing needs to be done? It's mind blowing, and a lot of times we'll sit here and say that, but then in the same conversation, that's why we're in business. That's why Maliki Parts and Service exists. That's why, with Jesus. Jesus is a master certified technician out in Florida. That's why his business exists. We all exist because people just neglect their equipment. They neglect it. And that's just the fact of the matter. That's just the truth. And, we are here to identify that. We're here to let customers and end users know we got your back. And, not everybody is going to believe in a planned maintenance agreement. That they need it. I've sat down across tables where people have just said, this is just a waste of money, throwing money down a hole. Well, it's only throwing money down a hole if you don't utilize the PM to its fullest potential, and that is listening to the technicians. And when you find a good company that really cares, that really wants you to succeed, because when you succeed, we succeed. I don't want you to sign up for a PM and then leave me next year. I want you to see the value and say, Rich, sign me up for the next 10 years. That's what I want. I want you to see the value in it, because there is. If I had a restaurant, I would have a PM in place. Why would I not? If I just put $200,000 worth of equipment in my kitchen, my fryers I need to make sure we're doing proper filtration. If I need filter paper, I need to make sure I have that on hand at all times. If I have steamers, I need to make sure I have the descaling solution. I need to make sure I have a good service company in my area, in my back pocket that I have a relationship with. I need to make sure that my filters are being changed. I need to make sure this. And I can't always have that in my mind that I got to do that because I'm running my business. That's where companies like mine come in. Go to Sofesa.com, go to the service network, go take a look. They're around the country. So you can't say that there's not tools for you to utilize. You might see it as an expense, but I see it as, if you don't do this, you're going to spend a lot of money really, really fast. If you just bought something. Okay. So I'm getting the salute, the hook. I gotta go. So we talked a little bit about planned maintenance, fired up about it. I got a monster blaze behind me that looks like hot liquid magma. My man Quentin got one more thing. What's going on with Quentin?
Bad companies give operators a bad taste sometimes, doing a PM agreement that never actually gets performed.
Yeah. Listen, I won't mention any names, but we have a chain account here that we picked up not too long ago, and we're coming behind it. And come to find out, none of the stuff that these people said they were doing. No filters were on the roof were being changed in the AC units. Nothing was being done. Ice machines. The tubing, all the vinyl tubing was all molded. It's just, it wasn't right. And we get, and by the way, you get what you pay for. When you get a PM. If you see someone come in and say, "Oh, I'll do your whole kitchen for $150," you're gonna get exactly what you're paying for.
And before you sign off, Johnny Cypher wants to know, what exactly is your text community for?
Aha! So Johnny, my text community is really just a way for me to connect closer with the people that are number one in the Fed group, in the Fed community. That's number one. People that are kind of rallying around everything we're doing there. So if you're not there, that's a great place for you to go check out. So we're networking over there. Food Equipment Digital Disruptors on Facebook. And what I'm going to be doing through my text community is keeping in touch with you for important things. So we put on a conference biannually. Once the world opens back up, we're going to be doing things. I had it on the agenda for last year. We're going to be putting masterminds together, meetups at different industry events. We have merch that's always dropping. So you'll get discounts. I'm going to send, my community is going to get some discounts. So I'll be making sure I get you that. And then plus it's also a way for us to stay in touch more. You'll have that number. You could reach out to me there. I might not respond right away, but I will always respond. And it's just access. So we could network and talk a little bit more behind the scenes. So it's not about spam or anything. I'm not going to spam you. It's going to be all legit stuff of what I just said. I'm not looking to, send you on any kind of crazy spam stuff. So, and I'm not going to abuse it. My community knows I haven't even sent out one blast yet. I'm waiting for the right time, and the right time is coming this March when I start letting people know we want to fast track this Food Equipment Service Leader Summit online. So listen, I think it's a win-win. Johnny, check it out, brother. Let me know if you have any questions. You could DM me here, and that's it. Fired up, hot liquid magma. Go over to the Fed Gear store. I don't know if we have anything there yet, but I don't think we put that yet.
Yeah.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
All right, so you could take about a half hour and type that into your browser. It's teespring.com/store/fed-station-gear. And you go over there and get that. Go get your fired up gear. I got my fired up gear coming in. Hopefully I'll be rocking it by the end of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday. We got a long week ahead of us. If you want to be on a live, let me know. We'll get fired up. Till next time, I'll see you.